Have you ever wondered why a narrow waterway in the Middle East is at the center of global trade discussions? Let's dive into the enigma that is the Strait of Hormuz. Nestled between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman, this narrow waterway is more than just a passage. It is a strategic artery that feeds the lifeblood of the global economy: oil. The Strait of Hormuz, barely 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, is a marvel of nature's architecture. But its true significance lies not in its physical characteristics, but rather in its geopolitical and economic importance. This slender waterway has been a critical juncture in global trade routes for centuries, serving as a gateway for goods moving between the East and the West. In the modern era, however, the Strait of Hormuz has taken on a new role. It has become the world's most important choke point for the global oil trade. Each day, millions of barrels of oil are transported through its narrow confines, accounting for nearly a third of all seaborne traded oil and a fifth of oil traded worldwide. But it's not just oil that passes through the strait, it's also a crucial route for liquefied natural gas, with Qatar, one of the world's largest producers, relying on this passage to transport the majority of its LNG exports. The strait's significance is further amplified by its geopolitical context. Flanked by Iran to the north and Oman to the south, the Strait of Hormuz is not just a geographical feature, but a chessboard where international power plays are enacted. Its control or disruption can have far-reaching implications, sending shockwaves through global markets and political landscapes. The Strait of Hormuz stands as a testament to the intertwined nature of geography, politics, and economics. Its influence extends far beyond its narrow confines and serves as a potent reminder of our interconnected world. Just how crucial is this small strait to the global economy, you might ask? Well, the Strait of Hormuz, narrow as it is, acts as a major artery for the lifeblood of the world economy: oil. Around 1/5 of the world's petroleum, and about a third of the world's liquefied natural gas, flows through this strait. To put that into perspective, that's more oil than any other choke point in the world, even surpassing the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal combined. Now let's consider the economies most reliant on the oil passing through the strait. Countries like Japan, India, South Korea, and China are among the top importers of oil from the Middle East. Over 75% of the oil consumed in these countries comes through the Strait of Hormuz. That's a significant amount of their energy supply, the fuel that powers their industries, their homes, and their vehicles. The United States, too, despite being a major oil producer itself, is not immune to the implications of a disruption in the strait. While domestic production caters to a large portion of its demand, the US still imports oil, especially heavier crude from the Middle East. Now, imagine if this flow of oil were disrupted. Prices would skyrocket, economies would stutter, and energy security would be under threat. An event like this could potentially trigger a global recession. In fact, even the mere threat of a blockade in the Strait of Hormuz can cause oil prices to spike. That's why any tension in the region is closely watched by economists and traders around the world. In conclusion, the significance of the Strait of Hormuz to the world economy cannot be overstated. It's not just a narrow body of water, it's a vital lifeline that connects oil producers with their markets, a strategic link in the global energy supply chain. It's a testament to the interconnectedness of our modern world economy, where a disruption in one part can send shockwaves across the globe. Despite its importance, the Strait of Hormuz is not without its share of issues. This pivotal waterway is often the epicenter of geopolitical tensions. The strait is sandwiched between Iran and Oman, two nations with diverging political interests, which makes this waterway a crucible of conflicts. These political tensions have the potential to disrupt the flow of oil, impacting the global economy. But it's not just about the geopolitical chess game. The Strait of Hormuz also grapples with the dark underbelly of maritime crime: piracy. Pirates, often armed to the teeth, lurk in the shadows, ready to pounce on unsuspecting vessels. These incidents aren't just isolated cases of lawlessness. They have significant repercussions on global trade, causing insurance premiums for ships to skyrocket and making the cost of doing business in the region a rather expensive affair. And then there's terrorism. The strait, with its strategic importance, is a magnet for extremist groups seeking to make a global statement. Attacks on oil tankers not only send shockwaves through the global oil market, but they also create ripples of fear and uncertainty that reverberate across the world. These threats to the Strait of Hormuz aren't just issues on paper, they're very real and tangible. When a tanker is seized or an oil pipeline is attacked, the world feels the impact. Oil prices swing wildly, stock markets shudder and the global economy takes a hit. The Strait of Hormuz isn't just a simple waterway. It's a complex, volatile region where economics, politics, and crime intersect. It's a place where the stakes are incredibly high, and the margin for error is incredibly thin. It's a place where a single spark could ignite a global economic wildfire. The Strait of Hormuz is indeed a hotbed of global tension, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. In response to these issues, a bold plan has been proposed. This is no small venture, but a colossal endeavor with a price tag to match. $100 billion. That's the projected cost of a proposed solution to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. Who's behind this audacious plan? A consortium of global players including tech magnates, energy companies, and sovereign wealth funds. Spearheading this initiative is none other than Elon Musk, the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX. His knack for thinking outside the box is well documented, and this project is no exception. So, what does this $100 billion plan entail exactly? Picture this. A vast network of pipelines, strategically placed to bypass the strait entirely. These pipelines would transport oil and gas directly from the Middle East to markets worldwide, circumventing the contentious strait and its associated risks. The potential benefits of this plan are significant. It could alleviate geopolitical tensions, reduce the risk of disruptions to oil supply, and provide a more direct route for oil and gas exports. It's a win-win situation, at least on paper. However, it's not all smooth sailing. This ambitious project is not without its drawbacks. The environmental impact could be substantial, and the technical challenges of building such an extensive pipeline network are daunting. There's also the fact that $100 billion is a lot of money, even for the world's wealthiest individuals and corporations. Despite these challenges, the players behind this plan are not deterred. They see it as a strategic investment in the future of global trade. The stakes are high, but so is the potential payoff. This ambitious plan could mark a significant shift in global trade dynamics. Will it succeed? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. The future of the Strait of Hormuz and the global economy it supports is on the cusp of change. So, what does the future hold for the Strait of Hormuz? As we gaze into the crystal ball of geopolitics and global economy, the $100 billion plan to bypass the Strait of Hormuz stands as a potential game-changer. This ambitious venture, if successful, could significantly alter the dynamics of world trade and energy flow. The strait, which has been the pulse point of global oil trade for decades, might find its significance diminished. Now let's consider the ripple effects. Economies that have long depended on the strait for their energy needs may find themselves in a new reality. They could benefit from increased energy security, no longer relying solely on a single, highly volatile passageway. But it's not all rosy. This shift could also mean that countries, particularly those in the Middle East, might have to recalibrate their strategic and economic policies. And what about the global powers? Well, they're likely to react in ways that protect their interests. The US, for instance, which has been the guardian of the strait, might find its role and influence in the region changing. China, on the other hand, with its ever-growing energy needs, might see this as an opportunity to strengthen its foothold in the Middle East. However, let's not forget the potential for further political tension. The Strait of Hormuz has always been a hotbed for geopolitical conflicts. With this new plan in play, existing tensions could be exacerbated. Countries may jostle for control and influence over the new route, leading to a possible escalation in regional disputes. This $100 billion plan is not just about a new route for oil. It's about the shifting sands of global power dynamics, the restructuring of economies, and the potential for new conflicts. It's about the future of energy security and the redefining of strategic alliances. Only time will tell if the Strait of Hormuz will retain its place at the heart of the global economy, or if this new plan will reshape the global trade landscape.